I want to show you guys this here because I know Zankis has some words about this. Because to cover the hypocrisy, especially a Jim Crow Joe in the Democratic Party regarding East Palestine, you had the Associated Press. I don't know if you covered this yet, CJ, but I wanted to. This is so absurd, and I want to get Professor Zankis' thoughts on this as well. Look at this, Russiagate.
Not yet. Not yet.
What are we at? 2.0, 3.0, 4.0? We on some advanced level Russiagate shit now.
There's more Russiagate variants than there are Omicron variants. It's disturbing.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I would say like what 5.5. Like this is crazy. Because now Russiagate is so strong that liberals are calling for nuclear war against Russia. That's how gone they are. And now they're saying pro-Moscow voices try to steer Ohio train disaster debate. So what this article is saying that these people that was voicing concern over deregulation, over the fact that Joe Biden had a horrific response to this. Pete Buttigieg had a horrific response to this. I'll just read the first two paragraphs and I want you guys to react. Soon after the train derailed and spilled toxic chemicals in Ohio, anonymous pro-Russian accounts started spreading misleading claims and anti-American propaganda. You mean telling the truth about the failures of this corporate state?
Mm-hmm.
That's now anti-American propaganda. It's calling out how Jim Crow Joe is sending 300 million more to Nazis in Ukraine as people in East Palestine was lied by their government. I'm going to show you guys here later about how it was safe. They're not getting the resources that they need. But that's anti-American propaganda. So I keep reading because I want you guys to respond as well. And then look, you see the Elon Musk jab as well to go after the monkey brain in the liberals' mind, using Elon Musk's new verification system to expand their reach. So these anti-American pro-Russia accounts manipulated Twitter and Elon Musk verification system so people will take them seriously, unlike the great people at the Associated Press. The last paragraph I read and I pass to you guys. The accounts, which parroted Kremlin talking points on admired topics, claimed without evidence that authorities in Ohio were lying about the true impact of the chemical spill, which they was. Yes. And I will show you guys that later. The account spread fear-mongering posts that preyed on legitimate concerns about pollution and health effects and compared the response to the derailment with America's support for Ukraine following its invasion of Russia. Like anyone would do. You guys spend all this money on Ukraine, but what about East Palestine? So I'll pass it to the professor first, and then we go CJ. What you see that insane propaganda? This is why we're the most propagandized country.
Yeah, well, when I saw it yesterday, of course, I was like, God, it's like clockwork. I was waiting for if you care about human lives and wildlife in East Palestine, you are a pro-Russian agent. I was waiting for it, hadn't heard it yet. And then I saw that. So I did a little digging and I found out some interesting things independently. So did Aaron Mate, who is actually an investigative journalist. So I recognize that. But I did a couple of things, and here's what I found out. So interestingly, AP reports that the guy's name is David Kepler. That's the so-called journalist, because this is not journalism. This is propaganda. He goes 5 paragraphs in, everything stated as if it happened and as if it were fact. And then in paragraph number 6, David Kepler goes, by the way, this information was shared with us. We received it from a group, a nonprofit, London-based nonprofit called Reset. So wait a second. I just read, and look, most people just read the headlines. Some will read a third or a half of the article. But if you did read the whole thing, 5 paragraphs in the beginning act like you would think AP did this investigation. Yes. It must be fact. They're stating it like fact in paragraph 6. That's where they say, oh, by the way, we received this information from Reset. So I looked into Reset. I'd never heard of it. It's got not a huge trail online. So I was like, all right, this is weird. The guy they quoted, His name is Felix Cotney, Katn. Oh, there I am.
There you go. I brought it up that you're talking about.
Scroll a little bit. We could see his name. If you go to
sorry.
Yeah, go to one of the subtweets. It's like the second subtweet. Yeah, this guy, Felix Carte or Cart, Kartte. He is based in, I think, Berlin. Interestingly, I go to say, well, what's this Felix dude all about? His tweets are locked. Now,
he don't want people to look into it because people. Go ahead, Zingas.
Glenn, I'd go to his Instagram just for the hell of it. He's got one that's protected too. So now the AP is putting a story out, 5 paragraphs of actually making it sound like they did the investigation. And in paragraph 6 drops the bomb. No, it was this group that you've never heard of called Reset, which only has like, I think less than a dozen people working for them. They're just some little thing. And the person who told us was Felix Carte, who doesn't have an online presence. So is that even a reputable source? And by the way, aren't they supposed to double source things? That's typical journalism. They didn't do that. And then we find out that who funds Reset? Well, they get Aaron Mate did a deep dive into Luminate, which is one of their big funders who they're part of. But they were also received a lot of money from the Sandler Foundation. The Sandler Foundation, started by bankers, also gives money to the Truman Center for Foreign Policy. Who does the Truman Center for Foreign Policy also get money from? BAE Systems, a defense contractor, and Lockheed Martin. So, interestingly, nowhere in the article does it even say that this group is receiving money from a foundation that regularly gives money to programs or organizations that are deeply connected with the military-industrial complex. Deeply connected. So they're warmongers who see a profit in continuing it. This was no evidence, no second corroboration, just this guy told us. This guy's Felix planted a story. That's what he did. And they ran it. The AP ran it. No corroboration.
And you guys think other countries are more propagandized than we are? Because how many people are going to do the research like Professor Zinkas, like Glenn Greenwald did? Aaron Mate also has a great tweet exposing it.
Yeah.
Not many people are going to look at this. Most Americans are going to see the headlines, see the story, and assume, because that's how American propagandists groomed us, that this person that got this story in AP is there for merit reasons. If this guy? Who the fuck? Where the fuck did they find this guy from? And if you look at his profile, you don't have to go back to it, but his profile says disinfo expert. How the fuck do you become a disinfo expert? As far as I'm concerned,
I guess you're an expert if you're the one spreading it. I guess you are.
Yeah.
If you're the one spreading it.
As far as I'm concerned, we all disinfo experts because we debunk mainstream media propaganda. So why did they choose anyone that debunks corporate media propaganda as a disinfo expert? It's a bullshit title. But CJ, I know you want to chime in.
Yeah, I just wanted to read sort of a couple of Glenn's tweets here. It says the shady group uncritically relied on by AP to malign concerns over the East Palestine as emanating from pro-Moscow accounts is the same source you were just talking about. A professor is funded by Pierre. I think this is the same one who owns
The Intercept.
The Intercept. Yes, I don't know how to say his name. Omidyar. The same guy who owns, he owns the Intercept. The fake disinformation and Russia tracking industry created after 2016 is overwhelmingly funded by him. It's overwhelmingly funded by the Intercept guy. And then here he goes on to say, after the 2016 election, how you say his name again, Professor?
I think it's Omidyar.
Omidyar. That sounds about right. Political focus radically changed. He became a fanatic Russiagator, blaming everything on the Kremlin and Trump. He took a small part of his $9 billion net worth and funded his new bullshit industry that is behind all of these stories, and then he just gives like an example these things that he's talking about. So just want to show that receipt about this story and how phony it is, and like you said, Aaron Monte also breaks it down. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I think it's
what they try to get biased. Go ahead, Professor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't understand how David Kepler has a job when he receives what amounts to a press release from a small nonprofit and doesn't corroborate any of it. That is the prime task of a journalist, to corroborate two independent sources. There are no independent sources. There's only the group that released the press release. It's bizarre. And what are they trying to say? They're trying to say that if you are concerned about the lack of governmental response to the suffering of the people in East Palestine, Ohio, and beyond, because this is spread beyond there, then you are a Russian agent, that you're doing the work of the Kremlin. Vladimir Putin wants you to criticize the United States government, where what they're also saying is that it is impossible that there's any organic anger at the Republicans who run Ohio, because they've done shit for these people, and the Democrats who are in the White House. You can't criticize your government, and this is very dangerous. Russia is considered an enemy. You're now saying that if I stand up for the environment, I'm aligned with what you're considering an enemy of the United States. This is such a blatant and transparent attempt to not hold Biden accountable. Biden actually promised to go and never went. But remember, he did go to Ukraine and gave Zelensky more money. And I said in my tweet, aren't the lives of Americans in East Palestine as important as the lives of Ukrainians? Could we at least get to that point? Nothing. It's Russian disinformation.